Good morning. My name is Sheraton Campbell, and I am the Artistic Director of Shakespeare by the Sea Festival. Thank you so much for joining us, both in person at the LSPU Hall in downtown St. John's and online. Hello there. In the spirit of respect and reciprocity, I acknowledge that our company's work is located in and around the city of St. John's, which is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Bay Othik. That the lands and waters in and around the city have traditionally served as a gathering place for the Mi'kmaq. That the broader region of Newfoundland and Labrador continues to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. That this place is impacted by the ongoing process of colonialism, and that we must strive to understand and reframe our responsibilities to land and community as we journey toward reconciliation. I also acknowledge the labor theft extracted from people of African descent and used to build European wealth and economies globally and in the Canadian nation-state, including Newfoundland and Labrador's shipbuilding and cod fishery industries, through the violence of transatlantic enslavement. For more than 30 years, Shakespeare by the Sea Festival has been building communities in this region. We develop artists and audiences, and we bring people together to enjoy the act of creation that is inherent in every live theater performance. This morning, Shakespeare by the Sea Festival is proud to finally announce 2 special projects that speak to our dedication to that work, enriching our community beyond the festival itself. I'd like to introduce Jen Dion, who was our artistic director for 2 decades and is now our current board chair. As a volunteer, Jen has been spearheading these projects for the better part of 2 years. I invite her to the mic to tell you about them.
Thanks, Sharon, and thank you all for being here. On behalf of the Shakespeare by the Sea Festival, I am pleased to announce that we will be hosting the 36th annual convening of the annual Shakespeare Theatre Association conference right here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador from January 5th to 10th, 2026. And we're only the 3rd company in Canada to ever do so. Each year, the host company gets to choose a theme, tied to a quote from Shakespeare. The theme for STACon26 is a great feast of languages, taken from the play Love's Labour's Lost. It reflects the many ways that Shakespeare's works connect us across borders and cultures. This year's sessions will explore literal language, spoken text, sign language, Spanish translations, and the figurative language of theater itself, movement, music, and context. As well, especially in Newfoundland, we know a thing or two about great feasts. But of course, it is not merely food that will nourish the 200 or so attendees who will gather here with us from around the world. I am well known for saying that the week that I spend at the STAC conference is my annual refill of my spiritual well. My dearest hope is that we can do the same for each and every person arriving on our shores in January, as it's been an especially hard year in many parts of the world for those who work in the arts. Joining us now via Zoom from New Haven, Connecticut, where she is the producing director of the Elm Shakespeare Company, in addition to her role as the vice chair of the Shakespeare Theatre Association, is Rebecca Goodhart.
Hello to everyone. It's so great to be invited, and I'm coming to you today from New Haven, as Jen said, with incredible gratitude and particularly with anticipation. I, on behalf of Scott Jackson, our president, and everyone on the executive committee, I want to extend a huge expression of gratitude to Jen, to Sharon, and to everybody at Shakespeare by the Sea. We cannot wait to come and visit and spend time and see your beautiful home for Shakespeare by the Sea. Shakespeare Theatre Association is a unique organization. We are a gathering of 125 theaters from around the world that specifically concentrate on producing Shakespeare's plays. And what that means is that we share a common purpose and that is to enjoy and to spread the connection that is possible through these plays that, while they were written 450 years ago, in a very particular time, in a very particular place, and in a very particular culture, over those 400 years, they have transcended that time and that culture, and they have become a focal point that allows us to share joy, to share refuge, to share deep thought, and really to share our humanity across cultures, across times. And so we're thrilled that our 125 member organizations are actually from all over the world, and that membership continues to grow. So it is particularly important to us and joyful to us that we get to be not in America and visiting Canada. And as Jen said, it is only the third time we've come to Canada, and we are looking forward to having a larger and larger tent under which all the theaters that connect through Shakespeare can join. We hope the purpose of STA is that we hope to come together to refuel, to connect, to problem solve, to envision, to learn, and to lead. We want to see what is possible, not just for any one of our companies, but really for the world and how these plays help us get here. So we just can't wait. Thank you so very, very much for hosting us, for welcoming us, and hopefully for some of you to join us as we do all of those things and more in just a few weeks. So thank you so much for having us. We can't wait for the next moment when we'll all be together. And I'll send it back to Jen.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I fondly remember your warm welcome to my first STA conferences. You made a very small theater company feel like we had landed in a place of equals. It's now my pleasure to announce our 4 plenary presenters that will highlight STACon26. On Thursday, January 8th, Ben Christo will deliver the opening plenary, defending and celebrating the need for Shakespeare in our urgent time. On Friday, January 9th, features back-to-back plenaries. First, Philip Carr will share insights from the European Shakespeare Festivals Network, followed by a presentation from Janine Pearson discussing Stratford's professional actor training program. Our closing plenary on Saturday is from Mike Tucker of the Coram Shakespeare Schools Foundation, who they host the largest youth Shakespeare festival in the world. But they are just some of the dozens of speakers and moderators who are generously contributing their time and expertise at STACon26. These individuals will fill our days and heads and hearts to brim during not only the main conference, but also during 2 pre-conference practicons, which this year are focused on fundraising and a special way of mounting a Shakespeare production called the Quick Raise. To tell you more about what Quick Raise is and how it came about, I am truly delighted to introduce a man renowned internationally for his innovative creative practice grounded in his lifelong expertise in Shakespeare's text and original practices. All of this is generously shared through his published works, public talks, and consultation with companies around the world. Now joining us from his home in Wales, Ben Christo.
Hi everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with you now, and I'm so very much looking forward to being with you all in the first days of January. I'm especially excited about the practicum that I've been so kindly invited to design and curate for you all. The Quick Raise process is the name that we've given to exploring elements of the rehearsal processes that we know about from 400 years ago and bringing them into the 20th and 21st centuries to offer a very streamlined and economic and fast and cheap, especially is what I'm saying, way to raise a professional standard production of Shakespeare. We know how much rehearsal time Shakespeare and his actors had. They had about 18 hours. How on earth can you rehearse a full play in 18 hours? Well, of course you can't. So there were bits that they rehearsed and practiced, the dances and the fights, the complicated and the pretty bits, or the dangerous bits that you can't improvise. And the rest they relied on ensemble, on play, on trust, and these are the things we're all going to be exploring together come the first days of January. It's going to be a very intense few days. It's going to be a very exciting few days. It's going to be a very physical few days, and I very much am looking forward to seeing everybody there, and us all leaving the practicum and launching into the main part of the conference, fizzing with a different kind of fuel and excitement for Shakespeare than some people may have experienced before. So I look forward to seeing you all there, and I hope you have good winter holidays until then, and many thanks to everyone in Newfoundland and around that's organising and making this happen for us and allowing us to all come together in such a beautiful place. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Ben. We can't wait to welcome you to St. John's. Now I'll invite Sharon back to help me announce a related but separate project that we are very proud that will be happening alongside the conference.
Thanks, Jen. I am so excited about this. The conference, we're so excited to be hosting the conference. The conference is available specifically to members of the Shakespeare Theatre Association. For our regional audiences and our community here in the St. John's Metro region, we are so excited to announce the Celebrating Shakespeare International Performance Festival, which will happen right here at the LSPU Hall from January 5th to 9th, 2026. On night one, on Monday, January 5th, we will start with a double bill. First, Shakespeare's Sirens, a short cabaret-style one-woman show that explores the stories of some of Shakespeare's most famous women and the original songs that they sing. It examines the recurring question, why do Shakespeare's women always sing, suffer, and then die? Using original speeches from Shakespeare, plus songs from his plays and folk songs from the Elizabethan era as an anchor, the show is performed and sung by Arizona's Hannah Johnson, accompanied on classical guitar in an authentic Renaissance style by her husband Jacob Johnson. The show is a mix of poignant moments, comedy, and academic perspectives exploring the lives and stories of these women from the viewpoint of a young woman who has played many of these rich female characters on stage. The performance invites audiences of all backgrounds to reflect on themes of grief, resilience, and self-expression, and to consider how the struggles of these characters still resonate in the lives of performers and audiences today.
This will be immediately followed that evening by Twelfth Night, performed for us actually on Twelfth Night from Western Australia's Shakespeare ED Company, and embraces a fast-paced, high-energy approach that brings together a cast of 5 highly experienced performers, gives them a cut script to learn, a few rehearsals, and then puts them in front of an audience. The concept behind Shakespeare ED is to strip Shakespeare down to its essentials, focusing on storytelling, character dynamics, and the raw energy of live performance. This approach demands versatility, quick thinking, and a deep understanding of Shakespeare's language. The actors must navigate rapid character switches, minimal props, and very basic lighting. The result is a performance that is both fun and serious, proving that Shakespeare's works can be accessible and entertaining for all. It will feature Melissa Merchant, Murray Jackson, Andrew Kositz, Wade Ellis, and Tegan Herod, with stage management by Tiffany Banner.
On night 2, Tuesday, January 6th, we will have a performance of Shakespeare and the Alchemy of Gender from internationally renowned actor and Shakespearean scholar Lisa Volpe, who has arguably played more of the bard's male roles than any woman in history. From gender explorations to intergenerational trauma to the unforgettable story of her life, Lisa triumphantly illustrates that Shakespeare's insight into the human condition is as relevant as ever. The New Yorker said, weaving monologues from her favorite male characters with reflections on her family history, Volpe explores her fascination with upending gender conventions as a way to reclaim power in the face of a traumatic past.
Night 3 on Wednesday, January 7th is Gender Play, or What You Will, by Chicago's Will Wilhelm. Will is a trans actor seeking purpose and belonging despite not seeing themselves reflected in media or history. In a search for queer guidance, they summon the spirit of William Shakespeare. The two are becoming total besties, as Will and Will reclaim the Bard's plays in all their original homoerotic, cross-dressing, gender-fluid glory. Gender Play, or What You Will, is the gathering of performer and audience for an impromptu party to celebrate this new friendship. But to meet the guest of honor, we must perform the seance again. Gender Play is a mystical journey of queer joy, laughter, tarot, and self-discovery through the classics.
Night 4, on Thursday, January 8th, is Becoming Othello, A Black Girl's Journey, a critically acclaimed, personal, poignant, and powerful story of perseverance, tragedy, triumph, and ultimately, unconditional love. Directed by Tina Packer, this one-woman theatrical drama is a victory story about making it against all odds. Through rhyme, meter, soulful songs, and lyrical language, the show chronicles the life of classical actress Deborah Ann Bird, her trials and triumphs, and her gender-flipped journey on the road to becoming Shakespeare's noble, flawed General Othello.
And on our final night at the LSPU Hall is Friday, January 9th, and we'll host the acclaimed play, Where We Belong. Madeline Sayette's one-woman play is a celebration of language and investigation into the impulses that divide and connect us as people. The play follows Accompanying as she travels to England to pursue a degree in Shakespeare, grappling with the question of what it means to remain or leave her own home at Mohegan, as the Brexit vote threatens to disengage the United Kingdom from the wider world. Moving between nations that have failed to reckon with their own ongoing roles in colonialism, she finds comfort in the journeys of her Mohegan ancestors who traveled to England in the 1700s to help her people. Akukai's transformational journey leaves us with the question, what does it mean to belong in an increasing globalized world?
But we're not done yet. There's one more. On Saturday, January 10th, we are offering 2 free performances at the Sheraton Hotel in the Garden Atrium. Sorry Most Sorry is a playful 30-minute adaptation of Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale, written by Devlin Ford for young audiences, and first presented at the American Shakespeare Center at the Blackfriars Playhouse in Staunton, Virginia, with a recommended age group of 3 and up. The story focuses on a king's jealousy and how 2 determined sisters, a stolen bear, and a heartfelt apology ultimately set things right, making the production a magical and accessible introduction to Shakespeare's world for families and school groups.
Thank you.
Thank you. STACon and the Celebrating Shakespeare Festival is a huge undertaking, especially for a tiny company like ours, and it would absolutely not have been possible without the support of our valued public funders. So it is now my pleasure to introduce Elizabeth Beckett, Director General Regional Operations of COA NL, to say a few words regarding their support. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Sharon, and good morning, everyone. So nice to be here on a rainy day in St. John's. On behalf of the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, or as many people will know us as ACOA, it's a pleasure to be here for this celebration. We're so proud to be part of the international gathering that's coming this winter that will see hundreds of delegates from all over the world converge in our beautiful province and our beautiful city. Their presence will really shine a spotlight on Newfoundland and Labrador's thriving arts community and breathtaking landscapes, even in the winter. They'll fall in love with what we have to offer, just as we all fall in love with it when we work and live here. ACOA's support for events like STACon26 reflects our commitment to building a strong, competitive, and thriving cultural industry. Cultural activities are powerful drivers of economic growth. They attract visitors, create opportunities for local businesses, and foster innovation fueled by creativity. Theater has a unique power to connect people across cultures and generations, sparking dialogue, inspiring imagination, and strengthening the social fabric of our communities. It reminds us that stories matter, and that shared experiences, like the people who are coming in January will have, can help people see things in a new light. By investing in projects like this, we help position this region as a destination for world-class experiences where arts and culture thrive alongside entrepreneurship. So congratulations to Shakespeare by the Sea and all the partners here today and those who've joined us online for being part of organizing this incredible event that's coming in the winter. Today's launch in the International Festival in January will not only celebrate Shakespeare's enduring legacy, but it will amplify the voices and the stories of Newfoundland and Labrador's community on a global stage. So, I shouldn't say it, but as Shakespeare wrote so many years ago, and public servants don't often get to quote Shakespeare, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. Today, that stage is right here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. So thanks again, and congratulations. We should give you an opportunity to quote Shakespeare more often.
Yeah.
We're also pleased to acknowledge the support of several programs run by the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador. Both the Department of Jobs, Growth and Rural Development and the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts and Recreation have supported various aspects of STACon26 and have made a substantial contribution to our ability to execute this project. Unfortunately, the Honourable Andrea Barber, Minister of Tourism, Culture, Arts and Recreation, could not be with us today, but sent this message. We're excited to support the arts and the amazing talent in Newfoundland and Labrador. Events like the Shakespeare Theatre Association Conference and the Celebrating Shakespeare Festival show just how vibrant and global our local arts scene is. It's fantastic to help bring these world-class performances here and celebrate this important contributor to the economy. We thank the Minister for these words and agree that the return on any investment in the arts is remarkable, both economically and culturally. We are also grateful for the support of Destination St. John's, as well as our fantastic venue partners, the Sheraton Hotel Newfoundland and my hometown, the LSPU Hall. If you are here in person today, or are watching this from the St. John's Metro region, I personally invite you to join us at the Hall or the Sheraton for the Celebrating Shakespeare Festival. Those 7 productions, some of which have already earned international acclaim, are coming to us from around the world for one performance only. Do not miss the chance to take those in. If you are a STA member or an artist affiliated with a STA member company watching us online, then allow me to tell you how excited we are at Shakespeare by the Sea Festival to host you here. We love visitors in general, we love you folks in particular, and we are so excited to see you in January. We're going to clue things up here by sharing our invitation video. Longtime lovers of Shakespeare by the Sea Festival will recognize a few friendly faces. Hit it, Sandra?
Fair ladies, gentles, star folks, one and all, to the Isle of Avalon, we beckon you. The old city of St. John's does you call for a meeting of minds, unique and true. North America's most easterly land, from time before Shakespeare himself saw light. A realm of locals, friendly, brash, and true, to welcome you all on next year's 12th night. A great feast of languages is our theme. From far and wide, come one, come all, and hear. If music be the food of love you will deem, our tongues shall speak chirpingly on each ear. Oh, we shall stuff your hearts and brains to brim, each day a new delight with friends to choose. But if, mayhap, your shape is cherished trim, our famous B&G must excuse. Pennies need not be pitched upon our isle. A loony only costs 70 cents. Our Sheraton Hotel will suit your style. This won't be your winter of discontents. Oh, Canada's winters are so harsh and cold, a stereotype that I must rebuke. Perhaps our winds are only for the bold, but sure, what odds? Just come and wear your toque. Warm hearts are all that matter here, you knows, even though the people are a little odd. Perhaps you've seen some of the Broadway shows. Come from a ways, we make them kiss the car. A scuff is what we call a feast you'll find. A scuff is what we call a dance you'll see. For Twelfth Night's joy we'll have both combined. All will share the feast of Epiphany. But long before the Christian souls arrived, our indigenous peoples lived the land. Traditions rich in drum and dance survived. To share those two with you is what we planned. Natural scenery beyond compare vies with temptations of sinful George Street. Try us for beer and booze, screech if you dare, and even legal weed, sure, can't be beat.
So Shakespeare by the Sea will welcome you.
From east, from west, from south to Newfoundland.
In 26, our friendships will renew.
But don't forget,
It rhymes with understand.
see you in 2026.
And that's it.